Hi, welcome to the Closdale Podcast. I'm Douglas. I'm a New York State real estate broker with a background in information technology, and my purpose here is not altruistic, so let's get that right off the bat. I'm an entrepreneur with a profit motive, and hopefully I'm singing to the choir. I've completed a course in basic blockchain programming given by the State University of New York, SUNY, specifically in blockchain programming and what's called digital or distributed apps or dApps and smart contracts. That's a little technical, just a little background for you. And I have a legal and programming team in place. Before I get into the details, though, I'd like to throw out a few pointed questions. Are you finding the real estate industry a bit overcrowded these days? Perhaps that there's just too much noise in advertising, for instance? Because it seems to me that everybody is doing the same thing, using a handful of the same advertisers. Well, here's some sobering news for you. And you may or may not realize, that you will not make in 2020 as much income as you fantasize. 80% of us will make minimum wage, and 20% of us will make six figures as real estate practitioners. Everybody thinks that just by being a broker or an agent, they've bought a lottery ticket. And that's not true. Well, I'm not here to retrain you in skills. You're adults, and skilled adults at that. But this podcast is basically a wake-up call. The industry is about to change big time, and I don't think it's fair that you should be the last ones to notice. But let's be honest, right? You were probably not the first ones to have gotten a computer back in the day. Am I right? Back then, 50 years ago, when the first messages were sent over the internet, you were probably not that impressed either. But look at us now. I'm on the internet now talking to you. Nowadays, everybody has a laptop computer. A man and his dog are now aware of the internet. But it was the early adopters to that technology that now control the state of affairs these days. There's Zillow, organizations like Street Easy and Property Shark, the MLSs, the multiple listing services in the real estate industry. For instance, outfits like GoDaddy and WordPress, these outfits build websites for free in some cases or inexpensively, and they sell them to you, even when it's like giving away ice to the Eskimos. Well, what has Zillow done for you lately? On the other hand, what have you done for Zillow lately? You've made them wealthy. But now there's hope, because there's a new way to sell property. And that's what I'm wanting to talk to you about. There's also a new way to lease or rent property. This series of podcasts will address those new ways, because there's a level 2 internet now called the blockchain. At some other podcast in the future, I'll get into the technicalities of what the blockchain is and how it works, if you want. For now, though, I want to keep this talk on a practical level. We don't care how the candy is made, do we? We really care how it tastes, right? Think of the blockchain then simply as an accounting method made possible by internet technology. It's a way to format those little ones and zeros that you could call the molecules that make up what you see on a computer screen. When the computer information is designed in a blockchain format, there are wonderful advantages. First of all, the information is secure. It's encrypted. It's bulletproof. Secondly, it is reliable and no one else can fake it. There's only one unique example of everything. Everyone can see it also and see who owns that piece of information, but only the owner can give its copyright to other people. That's because the information has attached the first half of a serial number, a long string of digits that everyone in the world can witness. This is like a social security number or, as unique as a telephone number. And this is called the public key. Fourthly, ownership of the information is private. No one but the owner can transfer copyrights of that information because only the owner has the second half of the serial number. This is the private key. And only when the two serial numbers join together can a legitimate transfer happen. As you know then, real estate is not land, and real estate is really not buildings or concrete things. Real estate is really the rights, the property rights that are written in the form of contracts and agreements. Real estate is actually information. So that when this information is written with blockchain technology, more possibilities exist for transactions. Now here are a few possibilities. Ownership of property on the blockchain can easily be split up among many people. It's like shares in a cooperative residential building or cooperative building, okay, or a public corporation for that matter. Ownership can be divided among thousands of different people owning various percentages of that entity. These people don't need to know one another or how tall or skinny each one is. No names are even necessary on the blockchain. Buyers and sellers can live in different countries. There's no need to trust one another. So no middleman or referee is even required. The contract itself is actually written as a piece of computer code, a piece of software. Each agreed action automatically triggers an expected response before anything else happens. It's that straightforward. And let me give you a real-life example. Mary wants to sell title to her condominium for $100,000. Someone somewhere is interested in buying title to that condominium at that price. The title has a serial number. For the sake of this discussion, let's just call it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone in the world saw the advertisement for Mary's property along with its identifying serial number. It's public knowledge, and that number is called the public key. Additionally, Mary has a private key that no one else but Mary knows about, and that gives her access and actually ownership of that document called the contract. And let's give that the number 56789. Now a buyer signals his